Hi guys. Uh, okay. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Let's see. Just get myself set up here. All right. All right. Hi guys. Oh, been one of those days. I'm finally almost fully recovered from being sick. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So we have Rob. How are you, hun? We got official here. And let's see. I just want to give it a few more minutes. I know I've been a little off kilter. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it just a couple of more minutes and then I'll get started. I hope everybody is doing well. And I got to get back on it, guys, with doing my videos on and posting it up on YouTube. I've just if you haven't heard it already, you can go to my podcast. I'm gonna make a video for it, but on my podcast I put up the betrayal wound, betrayal trauma. Kind of gives the insight of why people of abusive relationships, why they stay in these types of relationships, and it gives you the background to like codependence, the background to people who end up what most people on the outskirts would define as stupidity, because they'll see relationships and be like, well, if this person is being this way, why are you still with them? But it gives you the background of why people in narcissistically abusive relationships, physically abusive, domestically abusive relationships, why they kind of stay put. They don't really budge. But I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make the video for it so I can post it up. I think I might do it this weekend. Well, Rob, you know what? If the weather's nice and you have no work tomorrow, you ain't got to go nowhere tomorrow. You ain't got to be up super early. Go for it. All right. All right. So it's 8:14. What time did I start? 8:11. 8:11. So it's about I'll get 3 minutes in. About to get 3 minutes in. Oh man, I don't know if you guys managed to make it to my TikTok live this past week. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was we were covering a lot of different bases, and we were thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better than I was before. I had upper respiratory, and it was just when I'm sick, when I get sick, and I don't really get sick like that. When I get sick, I'm like I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I can't function at all. But thankfully, I caught it before it got like really, really bad. It got worse. So I definitely I thank God for Amanda, because she helped me through it too. She, was helping me with, my meds and stuff like that. And because like I said, when I get sick, it was so bad I had to call off from work. That's how bad it was. And I normally don't call off from work. I always, rain, sleet, snow, sick or not, I always, but nowadays with everything going on with COVID, you can't be too, you got to be very, very, very careful with it. Definitely. Oh, definitely. I definitely did. And I think, Thank God I didn't get my son sick. I try to stay away from him as much as possible because, I don't need anybody's immune systems being brought down because of me. Hi, Cicely. So, guys, how was your week? How was your week so far? How are things going we already hit the weekend, thank God. Thank God. I didn't even think I would get through this week, but I'm hoping everybody had a great weekend. Great weekend. Am I already starting? I'm starting already. A great week. So I was touching, a lot of, I was actually in my TikTok live, was answering questions. And, oh, Robert, thank you. Robert Stinson, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that, sweetheart. Thank you. I am super, let me, you know what? Let me start by saying, guys, that how many years has it been now that I've had this channel?
August will make it 4 years.
August will make it 4 years. August will make it 4 years. Wow. 4 years, really? Wow. 4 years that I have started this channel, and it has definitely been an experience and a half. I met, I've met some of the most amazing people. I have, helped a lot of people, and I'm so just so happy that I'm able to extend myself and really help people get through their emotions, and give them the real deal of things, and just to to really show people that you can get through anything if you put your mind to it. You can get through anything, and I said that I wanted to start doing things more effectively, and just really changing things up a bit for the channel for this year. I know we're already in May, but I definitely want to do a lot more and talk a lot more about other things around narcissism. I know a lot of you dealt with narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships, and I really want to also focus on kind of make it more therapeutic, in that we're going to take what you would get in a therapy session. We're gonna take it a little further with it. We're gonna go a little further with it, and helping people understand not only their relationships, but their own backgrounds. Really helping them to just to get the grasp on that, so we can just move forward, heal effectively, and really start taking a hold of our lives, really holding on to getting the full grasp of not only our potential, but just what we deserve. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to do a lot more with the channel. I want to do a lot more with people, and it's gonna happen. It is definitely gonna happen. Hi, Kara. Hi, sweetheart. Official 4 years. Congrats. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I'm glad I can, be as informative as I possibly can, and just really, really just be there. Just be there for you guys. I know it's difficult. Like, healing has been for me, healing has been one of the most challenging things in my life. Besides, of course, becoming a mom, and, just being an adult in general. But healing has definitely done wonders for me. It has definitely helped me realize a lot about myself. And I know that everybody's on different stages of their healing. So please do not, don't feel bad if, you're not quite there yet. You're still working through the motions. You got to understand, after you have endured an abusive relationship, after you've endured a trauma bond, after you've really, really felt the pains of narcissistic discard, narcissistic rage, narcissistic abuse, you really, really have to, what is the word for it? Oh my gosh, I just had it too. Not release. I'm sorry, guys. My brain, I just had a brain fart. Thank you, Cicely. Thank you. You really have to. What we're gonna use for the. I had a better word in mind, but we're gonna use release. You really have to just release all of that. All of that's not served its purpose for you.
Surrender.
No, not so much surrender. It's just more about, just removing what no longer has its purpose, what no longer serves you. And I think that, a lot more people have a lot more to learn. A lot more people are going to face, because like I told you guys, there's a new victim every day. Okay? There is a new victim every day. Every day there's, someone being discarded, someone being abused, someone being, manipulated. It's every day. Okay? And it's important that, it's been for me, it's important that with healing and moving on and doing what I have to do for myself, that I share it with others, because there's always going to be someone else. There's always going to be someone else. And usually when I do my lives on TikTok, I'll do them, Tuesday and Wednesday. I rotate between the two. There's always new people coming in. There are always, somebody could be strolling, or somebody could just be opening up a TikTok and boom, it pops up. And it's like, oh crap, I needed this. Like, this is my sign, because I'm going through the motions. There's always going to be someone who's going through it, Cicely, it's ironic. I was looking up the law of detachment. Let me tell you something. Detaching is one of the hardest, because you have resistance. A lot of us find it hard to detach from situations because we carry a lot of resistance, and we resist because when you resist, you're coming from a place of fear, right? And you want to, and this is usually subconsciously, you want to control the outcome. You want to control how things are going to happen. And with detaching, that means that you are relinquishing control. You are letting it go. You are pretty much like, okay, I got my mind set on something. I want to do something with myself. I want to do something with another individual, or what have you. But you have to let it go. And when it boils down to, I had someone ask me, why can't I stop thinking about the person? Why can't I stop? Why can't I just get over the situation and move on from it, and just, no matter how much you want to deep down inside let go of the person and the situation, if you're resisting, it doesn't matter. You're going to continuously hold on to it, you know? And it's hard. It's hard to let go. It is hard to let go. It's hard to just, you've invested so many years, you've invested so much time and effort, and you have contributed, a lot of yourself to a situation, to people, and then boom, something that happens that is beyond your control. You tend to, you freeze up, you panic, and you want to regain that control again. I don't know if you've noticed, and maybe you haven't done this, maybe you haven't gone through this. I have. I noticed that, for example, during my discard, I was trying to do every and anything possible to kind of, flip everything around back to the way it used to be. I was trying to, really show this person that, this is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like this. And I tried really hard to normalize, not normalize. I tried really hard to revert. I tried hard to revert the situation. And I was trying to control the situation, but not to, manipulate the person or make the person, like what one would do if they were trying to cast like love spells or something. That's pure manipulation. I wasn't trying to impose my free will on the person and, my own will on that person. I was trying to do damage control. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do damage control, and I was trying to, remind the person, remember why you fell in love with me, and remember why, we were together for, all this time. Remember how we got through our problems and our situations, and, and you try to, you try so hard to just bring it back to the way it used to be. You try hard to say, oh, I got to remind this person because they're going to forget. And I remember that too. I remember that I was standing outside my house, and it was a really nasty conversation. Really nasty conversation. Well, it was more nasty on that person's end because I wasn't, yelling or cursing or anything like that. But I was standing outside my house and I was crying on the phone, and I said, you know, you're going to forget about me. You're going to forget about me. You're going to forget, because I was getting the hot and cold behavior. I was getting the, I don't, I love you, but I don't want to, and then I was getting the breadcrumbs and everything. But I'm sitting there, like I'm standing there outside the house and just on the phone crying. You're going to forget about me. You're just going to move on, and you're going to do. So I tried everything in my power that I could do, to try to remind the person, this was why you fell in love with me. See, listen, we can go back to the way it used to be. We can go back to the way it was. But little did I know it was like this because I was convinced that I was the problem, that I was the reason why things were happening the way they were happening. I was the reason why this person was acting the way they were acting, and you find yourself really trying to do more, going in harder, going in deeper, because you're being told or you're being shown, well, this is like this because you're like that. Okay? Stop being like that, and this won't be like this. You didn't realize that it really didn't matter what you did or what you did not do. It really didn't matter, because the outcome was still going to be the same. You can't control the situation, though you probably try to. You probably try to, you know, refrain from being left behind, from being put out in the cold, from being discarded. You were trying your best to avoid that, and I just came to realize at that point when I was dealing with that situation, detachment, though it's hard, it's truly beneficial. It really, really is beneficial. Detaching from someone, detaching from a situation, from people, that means removing yourself from the situation, removing yourself from the presence of these people, removing your mind, your thoughts, removing everything. That is very hard to do, but it's very beneficial. And I learned to understand why. And for me, I actually, I don't know, I think I told you guys when I had decided that I was going to detach. And I literally was walking down the street after I saw some of the stuff that I saw, and I was like, oh, no. This shit is just ridiculous. This is becoming way too much. And, this person's playing games. They're playing mind games. And, I clearly did not mean anything to them. So I'm walking down the street and I said, I'm detaching. I'm just detaching. I just said it like that. And when I did that, that's when I blocked. I took off all my social media and I removed myself from the situation. So I wasn't controlling the situation. I was not reaching out to the person trying to control the situation. I was not attempting to, be involved with other people that, surrounded that person. I wasn't doing any of that. When you remove yourself from the situation of dealing with a narcissistically abusive person, dealing with someone who is clearly, manipulating you or leading you on, or, just straight up lying to you, you tend to see things differently over time. You have to pretty much resist resistance, if that makes sense. You have to allow things to just play out the way it needs to, because you're giving yourself room, space, and time to kind of get out of that space and go into a different place. You're going into a different, you know how like they have the interrogation rooms? You basically are looking at the situation from the other side of the glass. Okay? They can't see you, but you can see them, and you can see everything that they are presenting themselves to be. You can see everything that they're doing. You hear everything that they're saying, and it's just it's mind-blowing. It really is mind-blowing. Definitely look up ways on how to detach, look up, ways on how to just relinquish that control. You hold on. When you hold on to control, you're trying to control the situation. You're trying to make things work. You're trying to just, put ideas, or you're trying to, I don't know, like, when you reach out to them, you're trying to just be like, oh, listen, can we just talk? Even if you're trying to get closure, if you're chasing them or you're hunting them down to try to get closure, you're still trying to control the situation. It won't work. It really won't work. Yeah. Cicely, I just had a mini Hoover and slipped a little, but I caught myself. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen. Mercury is in retrograde right now. Mercury is in retrograde right now. I know some of you may know what it means, and some of you may not know, but it's just they're gonna be times when you are gonna be you're going to be thought about. You could be like, just, for a split second, you could be a thought in their mind, and they may try to reach out to you, or they may try to come around you, or they may try to, make themselves be known, bring themselves into your presence, you know, and that's where you have to exert that discipline. You have to really be disciplined. You have to say to yourself, no, 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 nope. Not today. Not today. Especially if you're not fully healed. You have to have resistance. You have to, realize that you see them, yeah, memories will come up. You're gonna, those memories are gonna pop up, and the way you used to feel about them at that time may even present itself in your mind. But you have to remember the reality of the situation. And the reality of it is, you know, the person that you were in love with, the person that you were committed to, the person that you were in a relationship with, who has projected onto you, who has, committed heinous acts against you. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different, had a different outcome. But the reality of it is that whether they suffered, CPTSD, PTSD, whether, because narcissists, yeah, you know what they say, abusers were once victims. They were once victims, but these people chose what they wanted to do with their inflictions. They chose a negative path. It's we've all been inflicted in some way. We've all had trauma in some way, but how we handle situations, and clearly how they handle situations, are two different things. They're two different things. And they chose to project their trauma in a very negative way. Okay? I don't care what anyone says. They can come to you and say, oh, I wasn't in my right mind when this was happening. Yeah, you were. Because they were. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They knew when they were lying to you. They knew when they were trying to play you. They knew when they thought the grass was greener on the other side. And it was like, oh, I'm getting my ego stroked in so many different places. What do I need with you? They knew these things. But what they didn't know was that these things wouldn't last long, because it's very short-lived. It's very short-lived. And because of the fact that you supplied them with something that anybody else would have cherished and valued, anyone else who's at least clearly, emotionally available, and, and would be willing to compromise. Usually that's why they try to come and hoover you back in, or they try to bring themselves around you. They try to, they'll try to entice you. They'll try to, get you to think about them again. How many of you have run into them? How many of you have maybe run across them, or run past them. How many? And, you just kind of like, a part of you probably wanted to, but the part of you that's healing, the part of you that's, understanding the reality of the situation is saying, thank you, Kareem. Thank you. That part of you that's understanding the reality of your situation is telling you, no, 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 no. You know, I tell people, think about it. Think about everything you went through. Think about everything you went through. Someone can come to you and they can say, listen, I made a mistake. I made a mistake for the way I treated you. I made a mistake, doing what I did. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. They made choices. They made clear, concise choices. They chose to do the things that they wanted to do because they wanted that self gratification. And I cannot, it bears repeating, because some people actually think that, yeah, but we had good times. We had good times. We had memories, and things were great at one point. Yeah, we fought, we argued, but it wasn't always bad times. And maybe there were times, and you start to find yourself, like rationalizing. You're rationalizing their behavior. Some people do that. They rationalize. It wasn't that bad. Okay, I could think of times where I was being overreactive. I could think of times where I could have done things better. You know, I could think of times where they were justified in saying what they said to me or doing what they, no, 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 we don't, you can't make excuses for them. You know, victims have been making excuses for people like this. And this is why people like this get away with it. They get away with it because nobody speaks up on the abuse. Nobody speaks up on what happens within the dynamic. Okay. They're not going to tell other people what they did to you. They're not going to sit there and tell other people, oh, well, listen, I was rude. I was crude. I was paranoid. I was constantly accusing them. I was, constantly, doing all types of things that no one deserves. They're not going to sit there and put themselves in the hot seat and say, I was horrible to this person. They're not going to do that. Okay. A narcissistic person will cut off their nose to spite their face. Okay. They will cut off their nose to spite their face. They would rather mangle their hand in a what do they call those, meat grinders? They'd rather mangle their hand in a meat grinder, or put their head in a 500-degree oven before they ever admit to doing any kind of abusive things or any type of torturous things in your relationship. They won't do it. Yeah, that's it. And it has to be that way sometimes, Robert, because something in the end, listen, knowing what they've done, like I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions all the time, knowing what they've done. I've had people ask, will I ever get closure? Will I just ever, get the answers that I wanted, that I needed? No, no, not from them, not directly from them. No, you won't. Sometimes you just have to take everything with a grain of salt. You got to take it for what it is. Okay. When people say, oh, I didn't get any kind of, I have lack of clarity. They did not properly end things. I think we have unfinished business. You don't have unfinished business. You don't have unfinished business. You don't have, thank you, Angela. You don't have unfinished business. What you have is, you saw what you saw, you heard what you heard, they did what they did, they said what they said. That's your clarity. That's your clarity. The disrespect is your clarity. The disregard is your clarity. The lying is your clarity. The cheating is your clarity. The sneaking around, that's your clarity. Okay? The breadcrumbing, that's your clarity. The narcissistic rage, that's your clarity. The deflection, another bit of clarity there. Okay? The gaslighting, huge clarity. Because when you came out of everything and you saw everything for what it was, what did you decide to do? You decided to bow out because it made no sense to continue to try to, to fix. Listen, you can't fix what's, it's like a vase, a glass vase. You drop it and it crumples into, thousands of pieces. Are you gonna try to put that back together? Can't do it. You can't. And sometimes people who don't get clarity want to, well, listen, I wasn't too sure. Maybe I was making things up in my head. Maybe it wasn't like that. Maybe it wasn't what I thought. I just need to see the person and speak to the person. I guarantee you this much, man. If you walk you walk into a room, okay? You walk into a room with a narcissist. Let's say it's a game room. You walk into a room with a narcissist, they like to play checkers. You better learn how to play chess, man. You better know how to play chess. Because at the end of the day, the kind of games that they play, okay, you have to be a step ahead of them. And if they know for a fact you have no kind of clarity, because they knew that they didn't give you any clarity, they knew that they, didn't give you anything to go by, they just pretty much left you hanging. You had no kind of clarity. You're going back like, look, I'm just here to get closure and gain clarity. You just gave them a move. You gave them a move. They know you have no clarity. They know you want the clarity. And now they can tell you anything because of the fact that you were so confused with the situation that was happening that I just want to know, was it really like this? Can you please just confirm for me, was it really like that? Exactly, Sandra. Gaslighting yourself. Was it like this? Was it like that? Just confirm it for me. You're talking to a trickster and you're asking them to confirm for you that this is what actually happened. And that's how people get sucked in too. They get sucked right back in. They go right back into it, and then they end up going through the cycle again, and it ends up becoming worse. It ends up becoming worse. Okay. I know there are a lot of people who have dealt with, narcissistic relationships where, you could have known the person for years. You could have known the person since your teenage years. You guys could have been on and off, in and out of relationships with each other for so many years. And it's become so, so cyclical. And it's just become so, you became so complacent with that kind of relationship that each and every time you're not with someone else, boom, you go back to the same person. And you don't realize over time, the person, especially if that person is of narcissistic nature, that person is slowly deteriorating. You're slowly deteriorating with that person over time. Because if you notice that if you're a victim of narcissistic abuse, but you're dealing with a narcissist in that you're heavily enmeshed in a trauma bond, and you try to have other relationships, but your other relationships don't work out because whatever reason, you have trust issues, or you still are, intertwined with that narcissistic ex, or you're still, entertaining that narcissistic ex, or you're still sitting there with the hopes and the ideas that eventually that person's going to change or that person's going to come to their senses, you end up screwing other people over. And listen, let's be realistic about things, guys, because you guys know me and you know how I am when I speak on things. Okay. It's okay to admit when you fuck up. It is okay to admit that. If you've ever messed up other potentially good relationships or other, you just kind of, toyed around with other people, probably not intentionally, but you were dealing with other people for the time being because at some point, you were kind of hoping that things will get better with that other person. You were kind of hoping that things would change and that other person would come to their senses. And you end up dealing with other people, possibly sabotaging good relationships, because each and every time that narcissistic ex came back into your life, each and every time they, promised you the world and they said they would change and they said that, they won't be like that anymore. It won't be like that. I promise. It won't be like that. We won't, be fighting like that anymore. We won't be going through that anymore. I promise. I promise. I promise. you end up letting go of someone that you could have probably had a better future with. And there's nothing to beat yourself up about, because people make mistakes too. And you end up going back to that same person. And then that same person does exactly the same thing that they did to you before, only this time it feels much worse. These people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know how to do it. And when it comes to you, especially for people who have been in long periods, long cycles with the same person, okay? They know how to get to your heartstrings. They know how to get to you. You love me once, trust me, I can get you to love me 100 times over. Because each and every time it's always going to be a different story. It's always going to be something else. And then when the time comes that you decide, well, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not playing this game anymore. I'm done with this. I am officially over this cycle. I'm over being with you. I'm over being in a trauma bond with you, or whatever the case may be. Then you have inflicted narcissistic injury, which warrants them to seek revenge on you. It warrants them to do hurtful things, to, run your name through the mud or through the dirt, to smear you, to make themselves out to be the victim. Okay? A narcissistic person is a victim when they're rejected. They're a victim when they're rejected. Okay? You were a victim not because you were rejected, guys. You were a victim because of the nature of your relationship, the lies embedded in that relationship, and the nature of the way you were rejected. It wasn't about the fact that you were rejected. People get rejected all the time. People get rejected all the time. I was rejected. Was I hurt by that? Yes, I was. I was rejected. I was hurt by it because, I was heavily involved in that relationship. I was invested, and I could not understand why. Why was I rejected? That was my key thing. Why? But why? But what did I do? Why? You're not a victim if you're rejected. You are a victim if you are hurt. Okay? That is the definition of being a victim. Someone who is physically hurt, emotionally hurt, mentally hurt. Okay? Someone who, clearly someone who's been murdered, that is a victim. Someone who has experienced some form of pain at the hands, or, in this case, the mouths and the minds and the malicious intent of other people. All right? Someone who, and another definition for a victim is someone who is tricked or duped. Don't believe me? Look it up. Go to Google and type in define victim, and it's going to tell you what that is. Rejection does not push people into victim mode. Okay? Rejection just pushes people into self-pity mode. I'm feeling sorry for myself because I was rejected, and I was rejected because whatever the reason was. And at the end of the day, yes, we've all been there. We felt sorry for ourselves. We felt the pain, we felt the hurt, because nobody likes to be rejected. But you reject a narcissist, they're all of a sudden a victim. They're all of a sudden I've given this person chance after chance after chance for so many years, and they're so manipulative, and they're so mean and hurtful. Everything that they were doing to you, everything that they were putting you through, now they're putting it out there, but they're flipping the roles. Now they're telling everybody else, or anybody who would hear them out, they're telling them everything that they did to you, you did it to them. And you're sitting there being the actual victim. You're sitting there and you are just flabbergasted because people are now looking at you like you're crazy, you're unstable, you're a liar, you're a cheater, you're this, you're that, you're doing whatever. Because listen, God knows what they tell other people about you. God knows what they've told other people about you. When the discard hit, God only knows what they told these people. Okay? Because they have it all figured out. So they already know what they're going to do when they run a discard. They already know what their plans are. They were talking shit behind your back. Meantime, they were still with you at the time, or they were telling people things about you that either was not true or filled with half truths. And people are like looking at you from a distance, but on the side of that person. And me, I'm one, listen, nah, you're not going to come to me and tell me about myself. Nobody's going to come to me and tell me about myself. Okay. I have no issues admitting, and this is something that I encourage a lot of victims to do, and a lot of survivors to do. Don't have any issues or quarrels admitting if or when you fuck up in life. You take accountability for your own mistakes. Anything that you do, yes. But you don't have to sit there and be a victim to slander. You don't have to sit there and be a victim to someone, putting lies about you, or, telling half truths. You don't have to be a victim to any of that. You don't. If you're going to say it, you're going to say it correctly. That's it. But when it comes down to, to the discard, when it comes down to what their plans are, everything is just flipped around. Everything is flipped around on you. People ask, are they aware? Are they aware of the pain that they're causing? Of course they are. Of course they are. They may not be able to empathize with you. They don't sympathize with you. They know they're causing you pain. Their mind is telling them, I am causing this person pain, but they don't give a shit about it. That's the reality of it. They know that they're causing you pain, but your pain is not of the utmost importance to them. Okay, you're crying. And they sit there and they look at you, and they see your sadness, and they see your sadness, and they'll just be like, you're just you're oversensitive. Okay, you're overly emotional. They will tell you you're overly emotional, you're overreacting. Oh, here you go with the waterworks again. Here you go crying again. I used to be and I still am to an extent. I used to be a very extremely sensitive person. Okay. Like if you just like kind of like talk to me with like a high pitched tone, or with a certain kind of in your tone, like it can, I don't know, it hits something within me, and I literally would start welling up. Like that's how sensitive I used to be. And now dealing with all of this shit, and having to go through healing and therapy, and having to, to just try to rebuild myself on my own, and trying to, you know, create my own closure, and create my own clarity for myself, and dealing with this situation. I dare someone to fucking yell at me. I dare someone to yell at me. I won't even say anything. You just come close enough and yell at me, I'm spraying you in your face with my fucking pepper spray. That's it. We're not going there no more. We're not doing that no more. I will not cry. I will not sit there and be like, why are you talking to me like that? How can you? This is how you become, guys. This is how you truly become. You don't become apathetic, but you become so unwilling to deal with anyone's bullshit. You become so annoyed off of the tinge, just the slightest tinge of narcissism. You sleeping?
Sounds really fucking my business.
You're supposed to be
Jesus.
with the AC on. Girl don't know how to act. See? You see? Mm-hmm. But you become so just annoyed by all of the falsities, all of the just the disingenuousness. You become so sensitive to all of these things that when you come across people like this, you come across people who are, I'm one who, I can't stand really charming people. I don't like it. I don't like charming, like extremely charming people. When someone comes off like really charming, it's like something's not right about you. Something's not right about you. I don't know what it is. If someone's just to come to me and be like, oh, all just, you could just sense the aura just says, oh yeah, charming, I'm charming. I can't. I can't be around people like that. I can't. It's not so much as, oh, I'm judging a book by its cover. It's that is just, it's, you're laying it on really thick. When someone's coming to you, like coming at you really charming and really like almost like a complete mirror to you, it's like something's not right. Something is not right. Okay? And if your gut is telling you something, you better stick with it. Stick with it. All right. I don't do overly charming people. I was just having this conversation with Amanda the other day when it comes to compliments. Like when someone gives you constant, like extreme compliments, or just, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm really not. Like I've heard, compliments. I hear compliments on a regular basis, and it's like, okay, yeah, thank you. But I've never been comfortable. I've never really been comfortable with the compliments. I've, like to show my confidence in that, I'm a confident person, and, like exude that self-love. But just the excessive compliments, or the excessive, especially on my physical, especially on my physical, I never was comfortable with that. Someone once asked me, would you like to be referred to as beautiful or sexy? I'm like, which one do you think? Which one do you think? I prefer beautiful over sexy. Okay? Because beautiful, it lets me know that you are looking at beyond, beyond just the physicality of myself. Sexy lets me know that you want to have sex with me. And I don't know if anybody's really noticed, but I'm not I'm not one of those that, bounces around like that. Like I can't have someone call me sexy and be like, you're sexy. Oh, okay. Thank you. So you want to get it on? Get the fuck out of here. No. I never liked the term. I really never liked the term sexy. I like beautiful. Beautiful is nice. But it just to me, it's like, I don't know, call me picky. I'm picky. Absolutely. In 14 years, my ex apologized one time for being a jerk. He's never wrong. They're they're always wrong, which is why they're never wrong. And don't get me wrong, we can be wrong in our own ways too. We could be wrong in the situations ourselves, but you can't, yeah, listen, you can't be right all the time. It cannot be every single time. You know, you're right about every single situation. And the thing of my thing of it is that how do these people get away with that shit? Like, how do they sit there and tell their friends and family and everybody else who will listen to them? It's every single relationship, it's always the other person. It's never them. That's when I come to realize, oh no, these people know. A lot of these people know about you. Either these people know about you, or they are so easily manipulated by you that they believe your stories. So they're either around people who know of their behaviors and enable it, because it means that if they're doing it to someone external, they won't get any of the nasty attitudes or the bad behaviors of the narcissistic person. But I've come to learn that, listen, don't fall asleep on their family, their friends, the people they associate with. Don't fall asleep to that, because guaranteed, if they are aware, they know, but they're just playing it off like they don't, or they're unaware and they're just being manipulated by the person. Because you can't have someone who's had, let's say, 5, 6 different relationships, and in each of those relationships, it was always the other party's fault. It was never their fault. They could never do any wrong. I call bullshit on that one. Yeah, Robert, I don't like the term. I never liked that term. I never really liked the term. I didn't mind being, I mean, listen, when I was younger, I didn't mind being called pretty. when I'm older, I'm a grown woman now, I don't mind being called beautiful. Excuse me. I like the term, but I don't need someone coming to me telling me, oh, looking at me, biting their lip, talking about, oh, damn, you're sexy. What? That's not cute. Angela, they know his dad is worse than him. It's probably where he learned it from. It's probably where he learned it from. This behavior is ingrained. It's ingrained in their mind, whether it be in their surroundings, in their upbringing, in their home, with their caregivers, with anyone who was raised with them or who has raised them. This is ingrained behavior. These are behaviors that have been taught to them. Okay. Just like codependency. Codependency is, someone who lacks self-love, who lacks self-appreciation, who has fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, who never feels good enough, who always feels like they have to prove themselves to other people to gain validation, okay, who are the people pleasers. They have to constantly do, above and beyond. Yeah, no, Kara, I don't like that at all. I and the thing of it is, well, I'll get back to that. But with codependency, these are things that a child has learned since they're, since they're anywhere between infant to like toddler. And the reason they learn these things is because they had absent parents. They either had absent parents, absent physically or absent emotionally. And because the parents emotionally did not connect with them or did not fulfill their needs or validate them as children, make them feel loved, wanted, or just, want to be in that connection with them, the child basically internalizes that and they just look at it as mom, dad, they're rejecting me. What am I not doing that they're rejecting me? What am I doing wrong? And then what the child will end up doing is they'll end up trying to go above and beyond to get their parents' attention. They try to go above and beyond. They'll do more than necessary to say, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing. Can you please, give me some love, give me some affection, give me some attention. Alistair, thank you, sweetheart. I survived years from my dad making me go to Harvard when I didn't want to. And that's like, when your parents push you into, doing things because they would have done it or they want to do it. I'm all for, you got to let your children have their own identity, and that's the problem. The identities of the children who come from parents that are very, either emotionally disconnected, or they're tyrants, they're very controlling. They don't have to be narcissists, but they could be very controlling. They could be very, it's like, you do as I say, you walk in my footsteps, because you have to be like me. Like, you have parents who push their kids to be just like them. They want them to be just like them. Narcissist parents actually extend their ego to their kids. It's not really them, it's their ego. So when you have a narcissist parent and their child, that narcissist parent, the narcissist parent is doing one of two things. They're either scapegoating the child, or they're going to push their ego onto that child. So that child can grow up to feel entitled and feel, because when we work in our ego, what are we feeling? We're feeling entitled, privileged, arrogance. These are the different things that run with the ego. So when they're projecting their ego onto the child, they're teaching the child to feel entitled to do what they want, to go above and beyond, however way they have to get it to get what they want. And mind you, this is a false sense of self. This is the ego of the parent. And they're pretty much just pushing this onto the child. They're telling the child, oh, yeah, you're going to be just like me. You're going to be just, just like me. You're going to have everything you want. You're going to, you're privileged. You are entitled. Nobody could tell you no. You're going to be the best in the world. And often the parent is doing this to that child because that child is supplying that parent. Because if that child wasn't supplying that parent would be scapegoating that child. This dad is horribly abusive and his mom is a saint. His mom is an enabler if they're still together. But my guess is she was the enabler in that situation. Because if you have a tyrant, yeah, you're gonna have, the male tyrants usually have wives that are very passive. They're very passive. They're just like, I don't want to rock the boat. And for fear of having, being lashed on or possibly physically abused or what have you, or in some cases have things taken away from them, the enabling partner is pretty much gonna just not say anything or do anything about it. And this is why I say it's important when you have children who you decide to allow in your life, because your children can pick up behaviors from your partner. If you have a narcissistic partner in your life, if you have a partner who is a narcissist, they can be influenced, they can learn these behaviors from your partner and end up in abusive relationships where they can become abusers. Hey, Butch. You know, the thing of it is, when it comes to narcissist fathers set up these ridiculous, it's you know what, I'm not even going to say expectations. Narcissist fathers live in a fantasy world, right? They live in a fantasy world where they are powerful, they are successful, they can get whatever they want, they can get whoever they want, they can do whoever they want. Okay, I've done a video on narcissist fathers. I think I'm going to go a little more into detail with it. But narcissist fathers, they tend to live, again, in a fantasy world. They have these outlandish thoughts and ideals about themselves, especially when they're in their ego. The common traits of a narcissist father is having a family because they want to create the idea that they have normality, that they're normal. And of course, they want someone that they can control on a consistent basis. They want someone that they can, manipulate, do whatever it is, have that person do whatever it is they want them to do while they go outside of their marriage, while they go outside of their home, mess around, be out, be out there on the town, dealing with other people, doing whatever it is they want to do. Okay. The wife, however, can't do that. God forbid. She can't do that. She is responsible for the house. She's responsible to take care of everything in the home, and she can't ask no questions. Okay. We're talking about the narc dad here. Narc moms are no better. Okay. But she has to be the one to take care of everything in the home and make sure everything is pretty much on the up and up. He's out there doing whatever he wants to do, hanging out wherever he wants, so pretty much she's in the commitment. He's not. He's there when he wants to be. And even when it boils down to the kids don't get to be with their father. They don't get to be with their father. But the little time that they do get with their father, because their father is so emotionally distant from them, that little time that they do get to be with their father, they're thinking, okay, this is the love part. This is, we did good. We did something good because dad's going to spend some time with us. If dad spends time with his kids, he's either doing it because there are other people watching, or there's going to be some kind of activity that revolves around what the father wants to do, what the father likes. Okay? The boys of a narcissist father, they try to fill the father's shoes. failing to understand that the idea that their father is successful and he is charming and people love him and people adore him. What they don't realize is that that's all a freaking facade. Narcissists walk with facades. So because they think that their father is so cool and so admirable and people admire him and people want to be around him, that's because how he treats people on the outside compared to how he treats his own family are two different things. Okay? And when the son sees that this is how the father is being, is being perceived, he wants to live up to the father's standards. So he tries his hardest to be like his father. When the father compliments him, when the father acknowledges him, when he is actually giving him some attention, the son finds that as that golden little nugget, because I did right by dad. I did something that made dad proud of me. And when the father is out and about doing whatever he wants, that he's disconnected from his son finds the need to go above and beyond, go even harder to try to gain the father's approval. It's just a lot of bullshit. It's just a lot of bullshit. Okay? And he will end up resenting his father, but being just like him. Isn't that crazy? He'll end up resenting his father, but being just like him. And it goes the same way with narcissist mothers. Narcissist mothers are pretty much the only difference I would probably say between a narc mom and a narc dad is that a narc mom has the ability to be more mentally manipulative. They have the ability to be more mentally, emotionally manipulative. The fathers are probably more brutal by force because they're more aggressive. Yeah, he's going to deny it. He's going to deny it. Block him, please. Block him, because I'm about to say something really fucking nasty to him. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry. Somebody just came out stupid, and I was just about to get really, really nasty, to the point that you would have been like, "Oh my God, Erica, really? You want to warn me for that?"
I was looking for the video.
Hmm?
The dad video.
That we could put it in the description box. That's fine. We'll just make a section for reference, and we'll put it in the yeah. I was about to. I got a mouth on me, guys. I'm sorry. I have a mouth on me. I'm. You guys know me. You know what kind of personality I have. Or all the personalities I have, all 215 of them. But I don't tolerate BS and disrespect. I don't like that. And I do have a mouth on me to where it can get me banned. Maybe not completely on YouTube, but in some countries. But yeah, he's going to deny being like his dad because something, it's that resentment. That resentment is what's basically keeping him, you know, and they don't see it. They don't see what they do. They don't see it themselves. They don't stop and say, "Oh shit, my dad was just like this. My dad was like this with my mom. My dad was like this with me. My dad was like this," and they don't see that. They don't see it because then it's like it's comparing himself to the person who created him. But if you sit there and tell someone if they're a narcissist or if they're just narcissistic, if you sit there and tell them you're a narcissist, they're going to deny it up the ass. They will deny it. They'll sit there and be like, no, you're the narcissist. You're the one who wants to control everything. You're the one who has the problems. You're the one who can't handle the truth. You're this, you're that. It's always pointing the finger at you. It's never sitting there. Listen, one thing I've learned, what's a big red flag for me, and maybe you guys might want to take this with you too, someone who never takes accountability for the things that they do. That's a huge red flag. Okay? You're not going to tell me you walk the face of this earth from birth up until this very day and you have never made a mistake. You have never done anything wrong. You have never done anyone wrong. You can't tell me that. No one can tell me that, because if they do, I will call bullshit on it. And someone who does not take accountability, ever take accountability for their own actions, that's a huge red flag. Whenever I would tell him about something that he said that hurt me, he always said, poor Angie, what about how I feel? Always made me feel, oh, oh yeah, yeah. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, yeah. They'll always flip it around and compare it to themselves. Oh, you're feeling sorry for yourself. But what about me? But what about me? It's always been about them. It's always been about them. It's when everything starts to change, when you take the limelight away from them for a second and you put it on yourself, like, listen, I'm trying to have you acknowledge something here. They want that limelight back. They want that light back. They've been a victim their entire life. They've been victims their entire life. It's always something. It's always something. Oh, my parents did this. Oh, this person did that, and that person did this. Oh, and that person did that. And okay, and what did you do? What did you do? What did you do? I don't care about what they did. What did you do? I didn't do anything. I don't know what I did to deserve that. So you mean to tell me that you have not done anything? It's always everybody has done it to you. Everyone has victimized you, but you have never, ever, ever, ever done anything wrong to anyone else. Someone sits there and tells you something similar to that, taking no accountability. Yeah, run, because trust and believe, you'll be next on the list. Hi, Riri. I'm about to see him. I know I shouldn't, but it's so hard. Jennifer, I can't tell you. I mean, I tell people all the time, I can't tell you guys what to do with regards to, the situation, because only you can do it. When you're ready to do it, you will do it. I wouldn't pass judgment on you for making the decisions, because I know it's hard. I do know it's hard. And I know that, some people's minds, all of our minds are wired differently. They're set up differently. And it's interesting, because someone had mentioned to me that they're the kind of person, in a message they sent me, they're the kind of person who, once I get clarity of something, it's usually not hard for me to get over the hump. And I think that's where people kind of like get it, like, well, I've been in other bad relationships, and that's not all narcissistic relationships, but I've been in other bad relationships, and I never had a problem getting over it. I never had a problem moving on from it. And, the person cheated on me, or the person, went back to whatever. They did whatever it is that they did. And that's because you had gained a lot of clarity, even though the situation itself was pretty freaking crappy. But when you're dealing with the kind of person who is consistently gaslighting you, trying to make you believe like you're crazy, trying to make you, believe that you are desperate, and you are just, you're trying too hard, or you're putting, you're the manipulator, or you're the one trying to control. It's kind of hard to heal and move on from that, because of that cognitive dissonance, And because of that dissociation, when you dissociate, you are losing touch with reality. It's like the wire, that little wire in your brain of the many, but that one little wire in your brain, when you are experiencing dissociation, that wire is like, it's kind of, loose, right? It unhinges or whatever, it detaches. And, like if you had a wire in the wall and it comes out, what are you going to do? You're going to plug it back in. This is what you have to do in healing. You have to work on trying to plug that wire back in. You are not dealing with reality. You're not dealing with the reality. You're outside of yourself. Let's put it that way. It's kind of like an out of body experience. You are outside of your own self. And this is why you feel like you're going crazy. Why you feel like your mind is just playing tricks on you. Why you feel constant anxiety, paranoia, depressive states. You're not dealing with something that any other relationship that could have hurt you, whether you had a really good relationship with the person and then boom, you found out they were committing infidelity. Is that painful? Absolutely. Is it traumatic? Of course. But if you were not experiencing the form of manipulation that you would experience in a narcissistically abusive relationship, there's no comparison. You can't compare the two. You can't. And that's something that, I want to like strongly have people understand. What you're dealing with is something way more severe. It's mutilation of your mind. Mutilation of your mind. It's a total recall on your emotions, because now you're at a point where you don't know who to trust. You don't know if you can trust anyone. You don't want to be in a relationship with anybody because you're afraid that you're going to end up going through it again. Or how do you know, or how do I know the next person I deal with isn't going to, do this to me and I end up going through this all over again? You have experienced PTSD. You experienced a traumatic, a traumatic experience. And your mind is trying to cope with that. But I do hope, with regards to anyone who is back and forth in it, dealing with it because they find it hard to let go, the only thing I can say with regards to, I can't tell people what to do, and I'm not going to start telling people what to do. I'm just here to be supportive for those who want to, gain the knowledge, get their healing on the road so they can, do what they have to do. And, just to be a support system for people who are experiencing it. For people who decide that they want to go back to that, they decide they want to deal with that, the only thing I can say is, man, you got to take everything at face value. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to take it with a grain of salt. You can't go back in thinking, okay, I separated from this person for a couple of months. Things have changed. They realize, no, 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 no. Someone who has not gotten help, someone who's not going to therapy, someone who's not dealing with their problems and their issues, someone who is, know, with a I'm sorry, I love you, and they bring you, hearts, candies, flowers, and jewelry, and they tell you it won't happen again. No, no. I strongly would, advise against it. But at the end of the day, of course, that is, whoever decides they want to deal with something like that, that is your choice, your free will. Just know that you go back, it's it's something that's just really detrimental. It's and guys, a lot of you survivors, and for people who couldn't make it to the live, but who more than likely will catch it on the stream, you know for those who are at almost at the end with their healing, that they actually have completed it and they're ready to take on that new journey. you know the only thing we could do for them is pray. That's the only thing we can do, because if someone decides that they want to go back, it's the trauma bond. We were all there. We were all there. But again, we're all wired differently. We're all wired differently. And I could just pray that, the person will, even while they're on their way, will just stop and say to themselves, what the hell am I doing? I mean, if that's what I got to do, that's what I'll do. But I can only hope that, a lot more people wake up to it. Anytime I would be vulnerable to him, he would call me a sick individual. As time has passed, I realized the stuff that he did and said to me were things done and said to him. Emotions, empathy, sympathy, love, loyalty, devotion, all signs of weakness. People who are devoid of emotions, who are emotionally disconnected, who are emotionally stunted, they don't know they don't know how to process these things. And the reason they don't know how to process them was because they weren't taught. They weren't taught these things. They weren't taught how to be emotionally connected. So, and of course, 9 out of 10 times, just like you said, it was ingrained in them that, you're not being, if you're sensitive, or if you're crying, or if you show emotions, if you're a guy, you're not being a man. You're not being a man if you're sensitive and you're emotional. You're being a wimp. You're being a wuss. And they literally take that and just say, and I gotta be like very stoic and very, very brutal. I gotta walk with ego. I have to, and it's like, sensitivity in a man is a very, very, very admirable, it's an admirable attribute. Like a man who is sensitive, who's understanding and compromising, and yeah, he has feelings, he has emotions, he has cares, he has, love. It's a beautiful thing. What is so bad about it? The only thing that's bad about it is the person who ingrained that in their mind. You're not born that way. You're not born an apathetic person. You're not born that way. And if you're not born that way, how did you learn to be that way? My mom used to say that you'll push yourself away from the table when your belly is full. Yeah, because when you're freaking fed up and you're done, you're tired. And listen, I give it to you guys who managed to get up and say, "Nah, screw this, man. This hurts." Because I was riding it till the wheels fell off, man. I was riding it until the wheels fell off. I was sitting there trying to hold on to it. Hi, Stella. I was sitting there trying to hold on to it and trying to make it work and trying to prove myself and trying to, overextend myself. I was trying everything and I could not understand. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing right? What am I doing? But what am I doing? And then I come to learn he was comparing me with other people. He was comparing me with people from before. I didn't do anything to tear that person down. I didn't do anything. I did not do anything. Did I have insecurities? Of course, we all have insecurities. I guarantee you this much. Mine was not as they were not as big as his, but I didn't do anything to remotely degrade or disrespect that person. And yet, I still got treated that way. I still got, I still got the shitty end of the stick. There were things that I would be vulnerable about regarding what he did to me, but I understand now that when he seen me, he's seen his mother and his sister who he resented most. And the thing is remember what I was saying before, Kara? You're dealing with a male narcissist or a narcissistic man. You're dealing with with the kind of man who either, who resents his mother, whether she is the narcissist in his life, in that she either stifled him, she was controlling him, she was not validating him, she was not fulfilling him, from mother to child. She wasn't doing any of those things. Or he, it could be any type of man. He could resent his mother because, if his father was a narcissist, his mother put up with that shit. And he found his mother to eventually, he found her to be weak. Why couldn't you get up and leave? Why couldn't you just move away? Why couldn't you do all of these things? And what's crazy is that what's interesting about it is that someone who grows up like that, they tend to blame. They'll blame other people for why they are the way they are and why they do the things they do. They'll blame other people. Well, if you had done this, I wouldn't have been like that. Come on. Come on. No. No. Oh well, my father abused us as kids, and he was a liar, and he was a cheater, and he was this, and he was that, or whatever. Okay, so that was your father. What happened to you? What do you mean? What happened to me? I was abused. Okay, I was abused. He was abused. She was abused. They were abused, but they didn't act out. They didn't act out as abusers. So what the hell is wrong with you? What is it that's in your brain that makes you an abuser and not these people? No, no, there's no excuse for it. There's absolutely no excuse for it, guys. I am going to, I am definitely going to start working on some more videos. I want to start looking more into, like, going more into detail with the narcissist father. I've done quite a few videos on the narcissist mother, right?
Yeah, you have like two or three.
Yeah, I think I might, because I did it on the narcissist family,
I
and
didn't see anything specifically on dads. I just saw like family. You have two to three moms.
yeah, I have one on the father, but I think I might do another one. Um,
It's sons of mothers, daughters of mothers.
Daughters of narcissist mothers. So then I would have to do sons and daughters of fathers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look at that. I got some more videos to work on. All right, because I'm gonna do sons of narcissist fathers, daughters of narcissist fathers. It goes either way. It goes either way, guys. You know, and yes, you can have a relationship where there are two narcissists in the relationship. You can have that too, guys. Okay, you can have that too. She blamed me for becoming who she is. People become who they are because at the end of the day, they had the choice. They had the choice. People do not become who they are because someone, the only way you can sit there and blame someone for becoming who you are, if you are an abuser, is if someone literally had a freaking gun to your head. Okay? I don't care what anyone says. I don't. Don't sit here and tell me, oh, but it was like that. And? And? Tell me something more valid. People become who they are because they internalize, they don't heal themselves, they don't, really go deep within to do the work, to do what it is they need to do. They internalize the pain and they project it negatively. They project it onto other people. Okay? This is prime example of being brainwashed. This is what brainwashing is. And if you're strong enough to resist brainwashing, which a lot of you are, because a lot of you have not become the abusers who have abused you, then that only leads me to believe that people who actually become abusers are weak-minded individuals. That's all I can possibly think of on that. See, Riri says, I'm the daughter of a narcissist mother and father. There are narcissist relationships where there are two narcissists, and that is a very explosive relationship. I think I might want to do a video on that one too. Narcissist with a narcissist. I think I might want to. I'll probably work on something with that too, because that's a very explosive type of dynamic, very toxic. Anytime that I was just being myself or just being kind, he would always question it. And during his smear campaign, would tell people that I wasn't nice. I was just good with my words. He's just revealing himself. He's revealing himself. He's pretty much just, it's whenever they're speaking, whenever they're doing things, like if there's anything that's coming out, negatively, pay attention to it, because the majority of the time that's them just revealing their true nature. They're revealing their true nature. I listen, guys, I'm at that point. I've been in this 4 years and I'm at that point. I am so sick and tired of people like this. I can't even stand to be in the same room with someone who even remotely begins to act like that. Like the minute I start noticing something, I'm out. I'm out. I either get this person out of the room or I'm out. I'm out. I can't be around people like that. Literally, like I am so super sensitive to the energy of people like this that I just get so annoyed and so I'll end up doing something stupid. So I'll just walk away. I just rather walk away. Because if I get put in a situation like that and I end up doing something really stupid, Amanda's gonna have to come on the live like, yes, so she can't make the live for the next month. That's just, like, what was I telling you? We were watching reality shows. I can't even watch those anymore. I seriously cannot watch them anymore. Like, not like that, because I get so annoyed. I get annoyed. She gave me one episode to watch, and I'm just like, oh. She knew already. She knew. And I'm just like, no. I can't stand people like that. I'm just like, I'd rather keep my distance than involve myself with people who are so, they don't have to be a narcissist, but they could be narcissistic. You can't be around people like that, man. I just don't have the patience. I don't have the tolerance. I don't have it. I really don't have it. So I tell people, if that's your nature, that's your nature. That's your, but no. Don't come around me with that nonsense. All right, guys. So Amanda put up some of the videos that I have done. I'm going to see if I can get, get started on those other videos. She tried to take away my son for child support money. And you know what? I bet you it has nothing to even do with the kid, man. And that's the part that kills me most. It's like, yo, they don't even care like about being parents. They just care about hurting the other parent. They just want to hurt you. Especially if they know how much you love your kid. They want to take your kid because they want to hurt you. They want to hurt your pockets. They want to hurt you. They don't even care about, fighting to have the child in their life, because I'm pretty sure, Sergio, I'm pretty sure if she really, really valued her relationship with your child and she really respected, the relationship with your child and the relationship you have with your child, And, if this wasn't the way things were, I'm sure you'd have no problem letting your child stay with her. Why would you have a problem letting your child stay with the other parent if the other parent has, shows himself to be a good parent? She's clearly doing it to hurt you, to try to hurt you, and to hurt your pockets. And I can't stand bitches like that. I don't mean to call your ex a bitch, but I don't know her name, so I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I told you guys, I'm very, very honest. I'm very direct. I cannot stand females like that. Females like that make, again, they make us look bad. They make us look really, really bad. And we get the brunt of that. We get stereotyped. We get stereotyped. We get categorized. We get basically put under that category. Couple of bad females, couple of bad apples, boom, all of us are right behind them. They overshadow everything. And we have to go above and beyond. We have to try harder. We have to go through all of the the craziness just to try to prove ourselves because of females like this. Look what Johnny Depp is going through. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm so over it. I'm over females like this. All right. Just so men know, because I know there are men who watch the channel too. First of all, a real woman doesn't put you down to make herself feel good. Okay. She will not do that. All right. I would never put a man down, purposely put a man down. Why would I do that? That only goes to show how I lack respect. I lack respect. I lack decency. I I wouldn't even be a real woman. Like, who does that? You put someone down, you make them feel like crap, and I've gone over this with you guys before, all because they got daddy issues. You dealt with some females that got some serious daddy issues. Okay, either daddy wasn't there or daddy was, and daddy wasn't showing her any kind of love, or he was rejecting her on a very emotional level, and she's taking it out on the men that she deals with, because at the end of the day, instead of doing the work that she needs to do and trying to fix herself and trying to have a healthy life and a normal life, she figures, well, shit, I can get any man I want, so if I want to put you down, I can put you down, and you're going to eat it. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys do that too. Y'all sit there and y'all eat it. You sit there and you eat it, and then you internalize it, and then you basically reverse it all onto yourself. So you take everything that she's projecting onto you, and your self-esteem begins to, just disintegrate. You tend to look at yourself like, damn, maybe I'm not man enough. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Okay? Stop letting someone who, one, first of all, your own mother shouldn't even be talking to you like that, let alone some chick that you either met online, or you met at a freaking house party, or you met up the block, or you met on a freaking in a McDonald's. I don't care where. I don't care. Stop letting other people tell you who you are. Stop letting other people tell you, oh, you're not worthy. Who the hell are you to tell me I'm not worthy? And stop listening to their words. Stop giving their words power. Don't give their words any power. You don't give their words power, guess what? They have no control over you. They have no power over you. Do not do that. Do not let these little flagrant females who will set up an OnlyFans page to tell you you ain't shit. The pickle tickling hoes? That's what they are. And that's another thing. Female, listen, I can. You see when y'all get me started? Y'all see when y'all get me started? You see? Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. Okay? These are the same kind of females who, and it's crazy, will talk down to you, do all types of stuff to hurt you, will tell you you ain't shit because they're getting, attention, they're getting their ego stroked, They're doing all of this, or whatever the case may be. They will tell you you're nothing, blah, blah, blah. Just really, really tear you down. In the meantime, they're screwing the next person. Come on. Come on. We need to wake up to the reality of things. And the reality of things is you are your own person. Nothing can exist in your reality unless you allow it to happen. And no one should have any kind of power over you. If you want someone to have power over you, you give it to God. You don't give your power to somebody who will just end up taking it to go and jump in the next dude's car. Come on. Come on. See how it's pissing me off already? See how it's pissing me off? I, as a mother, will never tolerate someone putting my son down. I will never tolerate that. I never understood how some mothers can sit there and watch their sons deal with these toxic females, deal with these kinds of females who will put their sons down, who will literally emasculate them, sometimes in front of them, emasculate them. And that's what I've learned. When you have some mothers who sit there and allow their sons to be emasculated by these females, it's because they got something to gain out of it. There has to be something to gain out of it, because you can't consciously sit there and see that your son is being emasculated, is being, his self-esteem, his self-respect, his manhood is being castrated, and think, well, I'm gonna let you, I don't want to get involved in that because that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with you. Everything. Okay? I carried my child for 9 months. I gave birth to him. I raise him. I provide for him. I am his link for survival. Okay? One of his links for survival. I am all of these things. I kill myself to give my son everything, to give him the security that he needs, to make sure he's safe, to make sure that he's doing good in school, to make sure that he is having as normal of a life as possible, to have a little Jezebel come running to my door talking about your son ain't shit and this and that. I will smack the shit out of you and your mama. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't. Don't let these females put you down, guys. Ladies, don't let these dudes make you feel like you're nothing. Don't let these dudes have you feeling like, well, without me, you'd be nothing. No. Okay? The only person you need is yourself. And if you believe in God, you need God. That's all you need. You don't need these people validating you. You don't need anyone's compliments. You don't need anyone's opinions. You don't need any of that. You don't. You just need to be who you are and do what you need to do for you. That's it. Because if you leave your power in other people's hands, if you become dependent on other people and them coming through, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to continuously be disappointed. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Yeah. And SARDAA, you continue doing what you got to do for your son. Your son's going to see it. He's going to see the difference between you and his mother, and he's going to see who genuinely and truly has his best interest at heart. Okay? He's going to see that. So continue doing what you do. You're a great dad. You know that. I know that. Continue doing what you need to do. Continue protecting your son. Continue to show him what being a real man is all about. Okay? And considering the fact that you have love and empathy and you have all of these, these wonderful characteristics about yourself, you can pass that on to your child. Quite frankly, you got the whole package, so you're good. You're good. You have nothing to worry about on it. Nothing to worry about. But guys, I just want you guys to understand. I say things from a place of love, okay? I do. I say things from a place of love, and I let people know what it is. I'm very, very direct. I'm very honest. I'm straightforward. I don't cut corners. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm not gonna do any of that. I don't got time to do that. Okay? I've done my healing. I've gone through the motions. So this mainly goes out for people who are still kind of struggling, still kind of stuck, and are having a hard time coming, to grips. They're having a hard time really understanding that, this is the reality of it. The reality of it is you're dealing with people who are non-committal. You're dealing with people who feel that, they want their cake and eat it too, man. That's just how they are. They want their cake and eat it too. They want your supply. They want your attention. They want your affection. They want every single benefit that you can give to them, but they don't want the commitment. They don't want the responsibility. And if you want someone to have a commitment with you, if you want someone to share the rest of your life with, if you want someone who's going to compromise, who's going to meet you halfway, who's going to do all that's necessary to keep you in their life and make sure that they don't lose you because you are valuable, you are worth something. If you want all of these things, you're not going to get it from your narcissistic ex. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They've already proven to you that you're not going to get it. So why settle for what you don't want just to be with someone who makes you feel alone anyway? And why not just work on yourself, heal yourself, build yourself up, put yourself out there and meet someone who's actually matching your energy? Just saying. Well, tell him I said happy birthday. 12. Mine just turned 15. And I'm just like, I'm still in shock. Okay. His dad just showed me pictures of him when he was like this like this tall, like this short actually. Where does the time go, guys? If you have children, hug them, kiss them, love them. I looked at all those pictures of him. I ran into the room. I wanted to hug him and hold him, and he's like, get away from me, Mom. You're smothering me. And I'm like, I love you. Don't grow up. Be my baby again. I just wanted to be my baby again. He is so cute. He's a very handsome teenager now, but my baby, he was so small. He had all this curly hair and all. Okay, get baby fever. I love kids, but I don't think I want any more. Angela, you are very welcome. You are very welcome. And that's just what I'm here for, guys. I'm here to just tell you like it is. I'm that friend that will just, you tell me, Erica, just give it to me straight, Lace. No cutting corners, no chaser. Just give it to me straight. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. And sometimes people may not like what I have to say about it. People may not like, it may be triggering for some, or it may just, it may hit people where it hurts sometimes. But in the end, you need to know the truth. You've been lied to for so long. Don't you think it's time you learn the truth? I think it's, I think that's important. But guys, I thank you so much for being here tonight. All 6 of you. That's okay. I don't need that many. I don't need that many people. It's okay, because I know that the people who are important, the people who need the message are going to hear it. And for the people who were, just sitting there, just watching me, hiding behind the background, or probably going to watch it when it streams because they don't want to end up, accidentally hitting any buttons and being found out. It's okay. You can watch it too. Oh, honey, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're a part of it. The people here are amazing. I know these people personally, and well, not personally, because I haven't met them yet physically, but physically, but they're amazing people. They're amazing. This is a safe space for you guys. This is we're a family. We're a family, and I like to make sure that everybody's comfortable and make sure everyone is getting along with one another, because that's what being part of the survivor community is about. It's about supporting one another, respecting one another. And I'm glad you came. I'm glad you're here. And you're not crazy. You're not crazy. None of us were crazy. Maybe we were to a certain extent, but not when it comes to this. You're not crazy. You're not. Okay? I'm going to help you in validating your emotions and your feelings and what you experienced. So you got this. I know you guys got this. I know you guys are going to be good. And I know that. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you. Yes. Stella. I thought Stella wasn't Stella supposed to be a moderator on here?
Yeah, but I think like first two
Mm-hmm.
get automatic, and then I guess it's in which will call it.
Okay. I thought Stella. I thought I had you. Well, she's the moderator on TikTok, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Angela. Definitely. Definitely. You know. I mean, listen. You guys saw something in these people. You loved them. You cared about them. There was nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with wanting to be there for someone. There's nothing wrong with wanting to share something with someone. But when you find yourself to the point that you're no longer working for the relationship, you're now trying to save someone who clearly does not want to be saved and who is clearly dealing with something that was way before you ever even came into the picture. Now you're becoming a martyr. You're self-sacrificing. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm done sacrificing myself for people. I really am. I really am. But guys, I thank you so very much for being here tonight. Amanda posted up. So I have some sessions. You just threw me off.
I'll put it because I know you don't remember. So that's
There are a few more one-on-one sessions available for this month if you're interested in doing a one-on-one, whether you're on the live stream or not when you catch it when it streams. If you are interested in doing a one-on-one, then email me and I'll send you, or Amanda will send you the calendar. I'm sorry. I'm reaching that point that I'm getting kind of tired. I'm like winding down. I've been up since 6:45 in the morning, so it's like, but you can email, we'll send you the calendar, you can check the schedule and let me know if you have any availability, if you want to talk. I'm here. The group session will be on the 21st of May. It will be on the 21st of May. So if you're interested in joining our group session, also email me. We'll send you the calendar. And if you already have the calendar, just email me and let me know so we can confirm if you'll be there at the group session. All right. So she put up, all right, so you put up everything there, but we still have it on the calendar. So my lovelies, thank you all so very much for being here tonight. Thank you for making this chat wonderful as always. Thank you. And I will be back here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, next Friday. My TikTok will be on Wednesday. And don't forget, guys, June 1st is Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. Okay? June 1st is Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. I will be going live that day, but I will be going live. It's going to be on TikTok. It's on a Wednesday. If you are interested in joining that live, then please look in the description box of any of my videos. You'll see my TikTok account, but it's at Narc Survival 101. And Amanda just put the link. So if you're interested in joining our live session on that day, please be sure to do so. I think I might try to do something a little different. I think I'm going to try something a little different for that day. But definitely show up if you can. And if you can't, it's all good. I will still keep you in my thoughts and I will still continue to give voices to the voiceless, guys. All right, my lovelies, I hope you all have a beautiful night. Have a beautiful weekend. I will be working on that content for you and for other people who, of course, need it. And make mama going to bed. I'm so exhausted. I am so tired. Like I'm old. I'm tired. I got the AC running, so you guys already know.
I'm gonna be posting what do you updated TikToks this weekend, so
Okay. Amanda will be posting up one of my my live sessions that I had on TikTok this week. So if you are interested, just, you'll get the notification that it's uploaded and you can check it out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here, Kara, Sergio, Stella, Cicely. I know O was here, Butch was here. Angela, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And if you need me, you know where to find me. But if you don't, then I'm sleeping. All right. Have a beautiful weekend, guys. And I guess, yeah, I'll see you guys here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place, same time. Love, peace, blessings, God's protection, all that good stuff. You guys already know. I'll see you guys next week. All right. Good night, guys.